Wait, Charlie couldn't finish Starfield? What? I want to see what did Charlie say about that shit. Critical.
Good evening, gamers. Tonight I bring you a gift more valuable than gold. Another opinion on Starfield. I know there's already a million of them out there, but this one's unique. This one's not like the other reviews. This one's quirky and zany with a real nice personality and a big pair of honkers. It's my full thoughts on Starfield so far, so it is going to be a review, but it's also kind of an admission of my weakness, because I'm just going to take the egg on my face here and say I don't think I'm finishing the game. Now, everyone says that the game gets good after 12 hours. I am just shy of that 12-hour mark, and I gotta be honest with you sports fans, I can't envision a world where I hit that 12-hour mark and a switch flips on, and all of a sudden, it's exhilarating. It blows my hair back, and it's a masterpiece. Like, I don't see that happening. But let's just assume that we are in a fantasy dimension where that is the case. That still doesn't excuse the first 12 hours being miserably paced and excruciatingly uninteresting. Like, that is still a...
Okay, I don't understand this fucking first 12-hour argument. What do these guys do? What are you guys just mainlining the storyline, like the main story for 12 fucking hours? What is this like? It takes 20 hours. You know what my first 20 hours of Starfield was? I joined the Ryujin Corporation, did corporate espionage, broke into a fucking high-rise building, stole information, and then I became a pirate leader and took down one of the largest fucking like government-owned like fucking police ships in the galaxy. That was my first 20 hours. So I don't fucking know what these guys are doing in the game in the first 12 hours. That's like really boring. Because that was my first 20 hours of the game. So, like, are we just, like, mainlining the Bethesda, like, main story and like, ruining our experience that way? Because I usually stop playing the fucking game and, and I usually don't do the main story. I've done maybe 2 quests out of the main story, and then I've just been doing a bunch of other shit. I became a smuggler. I smuggle stuff around. I've started an entire process. I started an outpost where I'm processing illegal drugs like Aurora, and I'm smuggling that into like trade zones. So like that's literally my first 20 hours of the game. I started a drug ring. I became the most feared space pirate. I became like one of the fucking chief dirty like fucking handlers of a galactic corporation. That's what I did in the first 20 hours of the game. So this is what I don't understand, right? Like I literally earned $500,000 in like the first 12 hours of the game by starting my own drug ring. So I don't know, like my first 20 hours was good. So I like if here's the thing, I feel like everyone like, and I'm not saying this specifically to Charlie, but like I know how Charlie plays a video game kind of. I've seen him play like single player games where I think Charlie just beelines the main story, and it's like, yeah, of course you're gonna ruin the game for yourself that way, right? It's like who loaded up Skyrim and just fucking beeline the main story for Skyrim? No, you do that shit like fucking at the end. Fallout, same stuff. These people are. I don't feel like these people are immersing themselves into the world here. Literally, the only problem I have with Starfield is the mouse-like FPS drops. I have an issue with just maybe some of the storyline, I guess. I don't know. But it's just, I don't know. Anyways.
Bad design. If you have to invest 12 hours before the game actually gets good. So, I don't know if that claim is just cope or if that really is true. But even still, it doesn't negate my feelings on how this first just under 12 hours experience has been going. You shouldn't have to put that much time into a game before it makes it worth it. And I want to be clear right away so there's no confusion. It's not because I think the game is bad. In fact, quite the opposite. I think everything in the game is good. But it's also extraordinarily boring and underwhelming. I struggle to stay awake playing it.
Okay, but then the game is not good. Like, then at that point, the game isn't good. Like you can't say the game is good, it's made well, and then also I'm falling asleep while I'm playing the game. That just means the game is bad. Like it's okay to at that moment what you just described is not a good game, it's actually a bad game. Even functionally bad. If the story it's one thing if the story isn't hooking you, but if the gameplay loop is not hooking you as well, if that's putting you to sleep, functionally that gameplay loop is bad. No gameplay loop should ever put you into a boredom state. Even the most like boring story games that I've played that have had good gameplay keep me invested enough to stay awake, I guess. I don't know.
It's like the cure for insomnia for me. I would rather be listening to my college professor lecture me on the Krebs cycle through Vimeo videos as homework. It would keep me more stimulated than playing through the main quest line in Starfield. And it's not like they've done anything wrong. The thing is, I went into this expecting, on this outrageous amount of hopium, that this would truly be an ambitious Bethesda title that would finally evolve their formula and push it forward. But unfortunately, that's not what it is. This is the standard Bethesda experience that many of you probably know and love, but set in space. No more, no less. And you'll see that sentiment echoed across pretty much every single player out there. That's like the only universally agreed upon thing when it comes to this game. This is a very divisive game, but you'll find one common thread, that everyone agrees that if you like the standard Bethesda formula, you'll probably like Starfield. And I completely agree. This is the standard Bethesda formula. And for me personally, I'm just exhausted with it. Not because of oversaturation, it's not like they keep constantly feeding Bethesda titles to you, like shoving them down your throat every year like Call of Duty or anything. And that's probably why for a lot of people this game is so comfy and is so exciting to them, because it finally scratches that Bethesda itch that they've had since the last title. But for me, that itch only gets scratched if the game is an improvement or something bigger. Like, I wouldn't want to just keep playing the same game with a different skin. I loved the Bethesda formula a decade ago, and this feels like it's stuck in the past. This feels like it's still playing with fidget spinners right now. It just... With all of the hype and all of the claims that they were making about this game pre-release, I would have expected so much more than just being complacent with the exact same Bethesda experience that you're used to with a different coat of paint. Now, it's a beautiful coat of paint. I actually love all...
What claim did Todd Howard make for this game that was so over the top? If anything, I remember the hype cycle for this being very much muted. Like, we all knew this was going to be another Bethesda game, right? Like, we all knew that this was, like, from the gameplay that they showcased, this was Fallout 4 in space, right? Like, this is not new, I think. This was not, like, a shocking experience, I think, for anybody. Okay. Like, honestly, if you ask me about it, it probably takes the best, like, acting. Here's the thing about this game, okay? Bethesda's like Starfield, and I'll say it like it is. The game probably does the best. It probably takes the best parts of their previous games and puts them into one, okay? So I'll tell you this much right now. The character creation and role-playing in Fallout 4 was one of the biggest points of contention, right? Because no matter what, you always played as a lawyer, or you always played as a former military guy, right? That's how the two characters were pretty much told, right? What Starfield does is more akin to New Vegas. In fact, even more so. In New Vegas, you played as the courier, right? And the courier could be really anybody. He's like a blank slate. What Starfield does is it allows you to really build a character with a specific background and a whole range of different backgrounds, specific traits, probably the best of. And because of this system, it's allowed me to have so many different unique choices. Dialogue choices. Like, for instance, when I was on a certain mission, because of the backstory of Gangster that I picked, I was able to really smooth talk my way through the game and uncover new dialogue choices that I would never have seen in a different playthrough. All because of the background I picked and the type of job that I was doing. Something really well done. I think the character creator system they have in this game is probably the most well done out of most other Bethesda character creation systems too. It's quick, fast to the point. Anybody that complains about the intro for this being several hours long, honestly, other than like building your character, going through the first like planet, getting your ship, going to the lodge, which all can be done in like 30, 40 minutes anyways, you've already started the entire campaign, and then you can like, you're free to go into the world. Probably one of the quicker entries. If any entry is quicker than this game, it's probably New Vegas. After you talk to the doctor, you can leave and fucking do whatever you want. So I don't know. This is it's kind of weird. I feel like this is this is mostly like I'm beelining the main storyline, which typically has never been. Here's the thing. Here's how you play a Bethesda game. Okay, you don't pull up a guide. You don't pull up anything. Okay, you just go into the world and explore, because that's really the best way to experience a Bethesda game. You walk into the world. You talk to NPCs, you uncover new strands, quest lines, explore things. I literally explored a pirate storyline in this game by getting arrested. And then I'm not going to spoil what happens, but like it literally, like the story, it's a unique way that they brought the storyline in front of you. How you do this is it's like Bethesda games are like jumping into a fucking pool of water head first. You have no idea what the fuck to expect, and you just wade around the water, okay? You don't go to a fucking guide. You don't, because the guides are going to ruin it. Okay, you walk, you immerse yourself in a world. Okay, you go to a city, you walk around, you talk to NPCs, and somehow one NPC you talk to can lead you down a storyline that'll take you 4 to 5 hours to complete. Okay, that's how you do it. If I played Oblivion with a guide, it would have ruined my first time experience. Okay, because when you don't play with the guide, you get those moments where you have that. You remember how you found the Dark Brotherhood in Oblivion? You just killed a guy, and then you went to sleep, and you woke up, and some dude like looked you down dead in the eye and said, "Hey, listen, you want to join a secret assassin society?" That kind of cool shit, you know. Sometimes you have moments like that, dude, and that's what this game is full of. It has a lot of moments like that.
All of the main locations that I've visited so far, and it's not like there's no new mechanics or anything. Like the ship customization is super in depth and really cool. The ship combat I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's not bad by any means. Like, I think it's a good implementation. I would have liked it to be a little more fleshed out, but overall, like, it's still fine and super functional. There's a couple other things as well, but I don't know if I can mention them because that'd be spoilery, and I'm not trying to just dump spoilers on you like a jump scare. But there are new things they added. But none of those new things are all that new, per se. They're new to the Bethesda formula, but they're very familiar with many things you've seen in many other titles over the last decade. That doesn't make them bad. Again, I don't think there's actually anything bad in the game, aside from the main quest storyline. The writing in the main quest line is lazier than my summer book reports in high school. Like, it is kind of laughable at points. They really phone that in. It is some formulaic silliness. I don't want to get too deep on it, but that was the only thing that I think is, like, actually weak. Everything else is fine and good in certain cases. But somehow the game still manages to keep a neutral expression on my face. It doesn't make me smile, it doesn't make me giggle, spit up, and kick my feet in my chair or anything. Like, I don't get excited by the game, because I feel like I've already played this so many times with Bethesda. Like, for example, the engine that this runs on hasn't changed in a long, long time. So, during the main quest line, especially, there's almost no facial animations for any of the NPCs, so it takes all of the emotional investment and immersion right out of it. Because you'll be getting great voice acting from all of these characters, but then you're looking at the character, you're having this guy.
I refuse to believe that the voice acting was good, my man. That Starfield has some of the fucking most ass voice acting I've ever fucking seen, man. At least in my opinion. I don't know. It's hard for me to get into any Bethesda fucking game. Oh. I don't know. It really feels like, I don't understand, like, so the main storyline is a drag, I guess. You know what? I'm gonna show you guys the Starfield here. Hold on. Let's go to Starfield real quick. So I am a day through, so 27 hours into the game, okay? 27 hours into the game, I'll tell you right now, this is how far I've gotten into the main quest line, okay? So, my main quest line, I still have one of the first 3 quests, Into the Unknown, that I haven't done. This is everything else that I've done in the fucking game. So, I've done storylines for the Ryujin Industries Corporation. I've done the entire, like, fucking badass pirate storyline, which branches paths like crazy. There's so many other, like, storylines to get into. I'm surprised why everyone is beelining the main story. Like, what are we beelining the main Bethesda storyline for? Like, is it just to, like, finish the game and see the credit screen and then shelf this? Like, is that how you play, like, any of these games? Like, I just don't understand that. Thank you, LG3, for W content. Like, this is all I've been doing in the fucking game. Exploring, like, everything. It's just, like, this is what I don't, like, really get, you know? Like, I've become a pirate. I've explored the world. It's like, it just feels like, it feels like a really heavy speedrun mentality. And it's not, and, you know, it's not just Charlie. Charlie's a great dude. I love him. But it's also, like, it's just general, like, it's just, like, how everyone seems to be playing the game. They're not immersing themselves into the storyline, seeing worlds, taking, like, these games are not meant to be, like, speed ran. You're supposed to put, like, hundreds of hours into seeing every part of this universe, or, like, you know, going to places. Like, I'm more interested, instead of the storyline, is eventually going to, like, this level 70 planet or system, Celebri, right? Like, I want to get to that point. Ixil, I want to see these planets, like, level 40, like, upgrade my ship to the point where I see this kind of cool stuff. That's what I'm into, you know?